Okay, I'll use it.
He literally has 5 slides.
Yeah. Hello, can you hear me better now? Is that better?
Yes.
Cool.
That's good for the video, yeah.
It's too loud?
No, beautiful.
Fine, yes, we deal with it. Hello, my name is Christian Catalano. I am a 6th semester veterinary student. I think most of you guys know me, so that's my introduction. I will be doing a very quick presentation on animal rescue groups and how they influence me as a veterinary technician and how I think we can help them as veterinarians, because I think it's a very important kind of sect of veterinary medicine. I think it's very valuable, and I don't think a lot of people think of it the way they should think of it, and there's just such a huge opportunity there that's not really tapped into. And I know there's a lot of shelter medicine talks going on these days, and that's kind of where veterinary medicine is heading, but this is a little bit different, and we'll go over that in a second. But has anybody here worked with any animal rescue groups at the clinic that they worked at, or nonprofits, that kind of thing? Yeah, kind of. All right. These are a couple. There we go. These are a couple of rescue groups that I worked with. This is like maybe a third of them. Like these are the ones that I can remember like off the top of my head and that I could find logos for on Google. My clinic that I worked at on the east side of Toronto, we had very, very low prices in general. So low exam prices, low vaccine prices, and we attracted a lot of customers. And because those prices were so low, we also attracted a lot of rescue group organizations, as well as, like, these are kind of the official ones that are technically, legally an animal rescue group. A lot of people we dealt with were just crazy cat ladies with like 25 cats at home that the government doesn't know about, but they do their rescuing job. They take cats to new homes, they find cats for them, they foster cats. So it's not like just these people with a million cats. It's people actually trying to go out there and make a difference in the lives of animals, which is kind of something that we all are here to do. So yeah, and I'm just going to go over quickly how they influenced me. These pictures are very old. I think this is from like, this work, right? This is from like 2014 or 15. That's like from like 2016 or something. I don't know. And there's a pug. I honestly don't even know if it's from a rescue group, but I thought it was really cute, so I put that in my presentation. This is actually a picture of a boxer and her babies. I have a lot of my old rescue contacts on Facebook, so I still see pictures and stuff all the time. But one of the biggest things that working with these groups gave me is perspective that I didn't have before. I think a lot of people, they hear rescue groups and they hear shelters and they kind of think, you know, like I said earlier, crazy cat ladies, people with a lot of pets, people that can't care for everybody, people that just keep saying yes and yes. They're not going to leave a dog at the side of the street. They're not going to leave a kid in a box. They're going to take them in and they're going to do their best with them. These people truly did give their lives and still are giving their lives to helping these animals. And I think that's so important for us to see, just because, you know, we're used to seeing people come in with just a few pets and that's their life and it's just part of their life. But for these people that come in, that run these organizations and that do this kind of work, this is their whole life. This is what they do. They have a savings account and that money goes into pet food, it goes into toys for their cats, it goes into vaccines, etc. So it was really cool for me to see, and I think a lot of the people that came to our clinic, they liked speaking with me because, I was super young. I was like, 16, 17 at the time working, so they liked someone who was young and spry. I don't know how spry I am anymore. But, so I worked with them a lot, and a lot of my coworkers did not like working with them because, as like I said, the perception is they're kind of crazy. They don't really know what they're doing, and I kind of saw through that. I can see that they were really doing their best to give these animals better lives. So I really enjoyed working with them. I really didn't mind it. It did remind me of why I wanted to become a vet, because working at a low-cost animal clinic, I saw a lot of people that maybe other people in different parts of the city didn't see. And there are a lot of cases where euthanasia is the only option, or they can't afford this surgery, so you have to give the dog a splint. And I think being able to help them and going the extra mile and doing little things for them here and there really made me feel like I was making a difference. And to me, that just kind of reignited my passion for veterinary medicine in general and made me think, when I'm done working, I want to come work here or a place like this where I can help these people and, give them a little bit extra more attention that maybe another clinic wouldn't give them just because they have 10 cats, they're all getting vaccinated, and that's it. Yeah. And what can we do for them as veterinarians? These are the kind of things that I did as a vet assistant, but I think as a veterinarian we can do a lot more and go the extra step just because we have those resources and we have those connections. So I think assisting finding homes for their fosters, I was constantly doing that. A few cat ladies that I knew, they were fostering a lot of cats, and anytime I heard a friend say, or a classmate say they really wanted a cat, they really wanted a pet, I knew exactly who to hook them up with and who to talk to. And I know like 5 or 6 people I know right now that at their house is a cat or dog that I help them get from these people. So we have a huge network with each other, and I think with the different rescue groups that we talk to that we can help find home for these pets. Connect them with other rescue groups. That was also really important because they shared resources, they shared contacts, and even if you don't like see it superficially, they're all talking to each other, especially in that part of the city. There was only so many different rescue groups and so many different resources, so they kind of had to rely on each other for kind of things. And if this person didn't know this person to get this kind of dog food or to get this kind of certain size dog bed or whatever, being able to connect them was really rewarding because you can kind of see directly how it helps with the pets that they have. Another big thing is advocate for rescue discounts. I know a few of you guys said you worked with rescue groups before. Did you have rescue prices at your clinic? Was that something that you guys had? I see a few nods. If that's not something that you guys had, or you're going to go work at a clinic that sees a lot of rescue groups but they don't have rescue prices, I would highly encourage you to bring it up to your boss, or if you're making the prices, and make things a little bit cheaper. Our exams were around $30, and for rescue groups we charge them like $23. And that's $7 difference for them if they have 10 cats to bring in. Makes a huge, huge difference. And to your employer, or to your boss, or whoever is making the money at the end of the day, the money that they lose in that, they're gaining in so many other ways. And like I said, it sounds like such a small little bit of money that you're taking away, but it adds up just because they have so many pets that they're going to bring into you. And another big thing is, shout out to Dr. Satoli, but think in terms of herd health, because a lot of these people, they have kind of cats and dogs living on like acres of land, and in their living room where there's like 10 cats and stuff. So you have to think in terms of viral diseases, how the diseases are spread, and think in terms of reproduction health. So make sure they're all being spayed, they're all being neutered. Like these are the kind of things you have to stress to these people who may not know that these are important concepts or things to think about. And then, like I said, actively seek out these groups and offer your services. So if you end up working at a clinic that doesn't have these kinds of things in place, talk to your boss, go and see what kind of groups are out there, and talking to these groups and getting them to your clinic makes a huge difference, which I'm going to go over right now. The benefits. So when all of these pets are being adopted out into the Greater Toronto area in my situation, all of those people that the cats were adopted out to, and the puppies and the dogs, etc., they all came back to our clinic because they had their original health certificate that said the name of my clinic and our address. And they would just come in and say, oh yeah, I adopted this dog from Toronto Cat Rescue, and they said that they got the vaccines here, so I'm just going to make you guys my normal vet. And now they're paying regular prices, they're coming in regularly, you're giving them a good standard of care, and you just made a brand new client off of, you didn't have to advertise, you didn't have to, put your name in the yellow pages, you didn't have to do any of that stuff. It's strictly by word of mouth and getting the name out there that these people were able to come to you and get premier care for their pet. And then also, kind of a touchy-feely thing is get the genuine feeling that you yourself and your skills are making a huge difference. So I know we all like to think that we're making massive differences as veterinarians and even in large animal situations, but when you can kind of see it in someone's eyes that you're doing them a huge favor by giving 10 of their cats vaccines in a row, and when another vet didn't want to do that because it was too much for them, they just didn't care, it makes a huge difference. And finding homes for these pets and kind of getting them in a situation where they're going to be in a stable livelihood rather than just on some lady's couch with 10 other cats, like it really makes a huge difference. And then you can kind of be known as a person who is helping finding homes for these people and helping out these rescue groups. And those people are eventually going to come to you. Like people are coming to our clinic and saying, hey, are you Christian? You're the one that helps, Melita with Give a Dog a Second Chance. Like, are you able to help me in our situation? This is our situation. Like, what can you do for us? So you have to kind of be that advocate and take the extra step and help these people because a lot of times they don't really have anybody else, and going to their veterinarian is kind of the only place they have to go to. So that's what makes me feel like I'm making a huge difference, and I'm excited to make an even bigger difference as a veterinarian because you can only do so much as a technician. And yeah, thank you. These are also dogs from one of the rescues I worked with. She had like a million boxers and like boxer mixes and like these massive dogs that nobody wanted because they were too dangerous. So she just ended up with a huge farm with like all these terrifying looking dogs that no one wanted. So if anybody wants a huge, scary looking dog that's really sweet, come talk to me and I'll hook you up. Thank you. Any questions? Yeah. Yeah.
Not that this is like really that important, but if you own a practice and you do work with nonprofit organizations, do you get some sort of a tax write-off? Do you know if that's, I don't know if it's a thing, you know, or...
I think it is a thing. I think it depends on the state or province you live in. Because I know in Ontario, if you have a certain amount of pets that you're caring with, like at some point it becomes hoarding, and at some point it becomes like a rescue. There's kind of like a weird like gray zone. So I know in our situations when we work with government-funded organizations like Toronto Animal Services and Toronto Cat Rescue, in those situations we did get some type of compensation. I don't know what that was. Nothing like major, but at the end of the day, when those cats were to get adopted in the city, they would come to us, and that's kind of where the money would come back. But I think with just regular rescue groups, there is really nothing that the government like did extra for you. Yeah. Any other questions? Cool. Thank you, guys.
Yay.
Totally gonna turn this off, Kawi, don't worry. I'm just gonna turn that off.
Oh God.
I know.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, so hold on, this is like awkward. Hi everyone, my name is Kawi Gonzalez and I'm in 7th semester. This is my last Ross talk ever. Yeah, I know. I've given 4 in total. I might start crying, I'm so sorry. When I started making this presentation, I did start crying because it was very sad to me. So the title of my presentation is The One Word Kawi Says Goodbye. So have you guys seen Friends?
Yes.
And have you noticed that each and every single title is titled like that? Okay, well, this one, the reason I called it this was because the friends that I've made here are friends that I hope I have for the rest of my life. Okay, here we go. The last 7 semesters here have been a roller coaster of emotions, and the way that I put this together today is that I went through every single semester. That's why there's 7 big, well, I was in vet prep, but we'll talk about that in a second. There's 8 big circles, and in every single one a semester, I put a lesson that I learned, as well as memories from that semester that I thought were really good memories, and that I found pictures of. Turns out I don't take as much pictures as I think that I do. So we'll get started. I can't remember if this one goes forward. Okay, cool. All right. So we'll start with where it all began. I came to RUSVM April 25th of 2015. I remember this day perfectly because I was terrified. I got on an airplane from Miami, if you don't know, I'm from Miami, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to vet school. I never thought that this day was going to come, and it finally did, and even so, moving to a completely random place that I hadn't even heard of prior to this day. So I was very, very excited. I did come with Black Semester. They were amazing, and they were really welcoming from the start. And what my lesson number 1 is that patience is a virtue. Coming from the island, of course, since I'm from Miami, everything was fast. It's like constantly moving. And then I came here, and it was like rush slowly. Very, very slowly. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be really hard. But that was my number 1 lesson in vet prep. Patience is a virtue, and the best things in life are worth waiting for. And that's what I realized very short after that, is that everything up to this moment was worth it, and the next couple years of my life were going to be amazing, and I just had to learn to be a little more patient. So that was my number one lesson for vet prep, and I had an amazing vet prep experience. If you have any friends that want to go into vet prep from later on when they decide to come here, not now, they can contact me. And then this was my vet prep class. There was, I believe, there was 32 of us, right, Nicole? I think.
I feel like it was like 40.
It was.
40, and then we lost.
We lost a lot of people, but it's okay. This was the first family, so after our last final, we took our first green semester picture. Now, first semester, I call this one getting hit by an airplane, and people are usually like, what do you mean by that? And it's the fact that we went from vet prep that was just very chill, very slow, everything was just kind of getting adjusted to life, and then first semester came, and we just hit. It was like anatomy, physio, microanatomy, and I was just like, what is going on? I thought it was just going to be like vet prep, and it wasn't. The first week of school, the first day I was already like introducing myself to people and getting to study, and this is the first time I became class rep for a green semester. And of course, there's always that stigma that vet prep sticks with vet prep and they don't make friends with anybody else, but I wanted to get away from that, so I went and I met all the peeps in the world. And my lesson for this semester was that you can be the ripest, juiciest peach in the world, but there will always be someone who doesn't like peaches. And that for me was very hard to understand. I didn't know why certain people were so negative against the way that I was. They hated me from the moment they met me, and they made it very, very clear in the following semester, which is the next lesson that we have. So that was something that I really had to battle inside and just move on from, and that you're going to meet a lot of people that you don't get along with and that you're going to have to work with. So for me, first semester was the first shot at that. And of course, I was class rep with Caleb Hattery, who all of you know. And my biggest fondest memory of this was that my brother was able to come to white coat ceremony. So I finally received my white coat after many, many years. Yeah. So my following semester is second semester, and the motto of everything is get me out of second. Everybody always says that. That's like the number one thing everybody thinks. This was my biggest obstacle yet. I struggled a lot in second. Physio was very hard. Physio was my kryptonite, like everybody has one of those. And I just could not, for the love of me, get it. And I studied, and it just did not work. I had to pay a lot of money for a tutor so I can still be in green. And it made you think a lot of like, am I cut out for this career? And I think second semester does that to a lot of people. They start wondering if this is what they're meant to be doing, and if they're even going to make it to seventh, because that's the life goal here. To make it to seventh and go to a good clinical school. So, well, all of them are good. To the clinical school that you want to attend. So, from the very beginning, I knew I wanted to go to UF. So, that was always in the back of my mind. So, lesson number 3 is the greater the obstacle, the more glory in overcoming it. So, a lot of people know this story, but I am not ashamed of saying it, but I failed every single exam in physio. And then on the final, I got literally a 98. And that helped me pass the class. And that to me was like a very, very moment of joy, because even though it just made me pass the class, it just made me realize that with all this effort that I was putting, anything is possible. So, yeah. Second was a rough one, but everybody gets through it. And these are some of my fondest memories of second. This was birthday and a bunch of other stuff, and I had met a lot of good friends by then. By then, I kind of had like a niche of people that I consider my family. Then, third semester came, and this I like to call Here's to Family. So back when we were in third semester, because I think it's changed a little, third semester was chill. It was like a roller coaster. It was just like you were just sitting there, you just got out of second, you can relax for a little bit. So for me, it was time to explore the island and learn all the lists. Because we had IT, farm, what else do we have? Viral, we had path. There's so many lists. Literally, that was the to-do list of to-do lists. It was crazy. So third semester was always that. In this semester, I met a specific person, and she's not here. But without her, I wouldn't have done well in farm. Like, she and I sat together every single week, and we just studied the farm. We did index cards. We did games with them. Like, she would ask me, I would ask her. We would be here hour after hour, just trying to make sure that we knew all these drugs. So my lesson for this semester was that always take note of who supports you genuinely. Those are the people you should always keep around. And up to this day, me and her are really, really good friends, and she knows that I really appreciate her for helping me, because even now she's been helping me a lot. So, okay. So this was also a semester that I got school certified. I was terrified of jumping in the water. Actually, Terry pushed me into the water for scuba diving, so that was pretty terrifying. And then that was the semester I met Danielle and Lauren, and then my fundraising team, of course, which without them, we wouldn't have an amazing banquet coming up. Fourth semester, leadership gives you wings. This is a semester that I really took a lot of roles in RUSVM. The idea of wish makers was created in this semester, or sprung. I got my first island souvenir, which all of you guys know who it is. Little Otley. He's my life. And this was a semester to create and inspire do things that scare you. So in one of the pictures, I'll show you all the things that I got certified on fourth semester. And there are opportunities that I think a lot of people should take advantage of, even if they don't plan on doing large animal medicine, or if you don't plan on working with sheep ever in your life. I think they're really cool resources that you can have. So my lesson for number 5 was that great leaders don't set out to be a leader, they set out to make a difference. And it's never about the role, always about the goal. And my goal is always to make a difference and to be able to grow professionally and develop as a good student, and be able to put things in my pocket that could later on in the future help me out. So this was also the semester that I won my first SAGMA Leadership Award. So I was very excited. I had always wanted one of these. I remember when Alfred Tam first won his, I said, I want one of those. Like, what do I have to do to get one of those? Because I felt like that's such a good honor to receive. I got Famasha certified because I love the sheepies. I love them so much. And then I got AI certified. So I can be a baby dad now for cows. I love them so much. And of course, up there is my little baby, little Otters. He's cute, and I'm obsessed with him. Then 5th semester comes, and this is the time where it all changes from knowing basic knowledge to actually putting it into practice. You have your first chief anesthesia, you have Sam. Whew, God knows Sam's is a crazy class. So for me, it was time to show what you got. Chief anesthesia came around, and I was like, oh my God, how do you do all this? And it kind of just all hits you, and then you realize that you just got to put all those thoughts behind it, just put your best foot forward and prepare as much as you can for it. But that was one of my favorite memories. We went to SAGMA Symposium, not the Iowa one. Yeah, at this point, we went to the, right? Texas. No, we went to Texas in this one. I had gone to Iowa previously. Went to Texas in this one. I fell in love with the school. I got to meet new friends. Yay. And this is a semester also that I had my first real heartbreak. So it was like a very, very big deal to me. I was very hurt by it, and it really affected me as how I was as a person. But now I'm good. And I think that I'm way better. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. And it kind of just, it really did, what's that word that I'm looking for? It veered me out of the path that I was supposed to be in, and I was focusing a lot on things that I shouldn't. So once I was able to get through it, of course with the help of my friends, I was able to move forward. So my lesson for this one was always remember God will never take anything away from you without the intention of replacing it with something much better. So that was something that I really had to ingrain in my brain in order to be able to move on and realize that that's not where I was supposed to be or who I was supposed to be with. So yeah, here we go. We had my first chief anesthesia symposium, which I had a blast at in Texas. And then little Lauren and I created like this Rossi series, which we still haven't taken our final Rossi picture, in which every semester we took a picture with our Rossi material that they had just given us, and then at the end we took a picture before our Rossi. Sounds pretty nice. We got to share that together. 6th semester, pray for green. That was the motto of the day. Quitting was always a thing that was in the back of my head in 6th. So like, this is the hardest thing I've ever endured in my life. You thought 2nd was hard? 6th was horrific. But you know what? Like my quote says, the harder the struggle, the glorious the triumph. And that to me was proven by my Rossi, my aseptic exam, and like all of our clinical skills. This is a semester I realized that even though I'm not the top student in my class, so I'm not a straight A student, and I'll admit it, I'm okay with that. I had the power to go out there and be and act like a doctor, and that to me meant so much. So when I did really well in all these things, I was like, okay, that's fine. Don't worry about it. You're going to be a great doctor, and hands-on, you'll be great. So this was my last chance for placement, so I put a lot of stress on myself that I think could have been avoided. However, I just knew what my end goal was, and I just want everybody to know that you are worth it, and that wherever it is that you're supposed to meant to be and meant to go, you will go there. I think a lot of it is just telling yourself that you can do it, and that, again, the effort shows. So that was my lesson. And then, of course, this semester we put Mr. Ross, one of the most successful events of this day. I was so excited for it. It was a lot of work. This is when little Lauren and I got our Rossies, so we finished that. And then I met my OL team, my second one, because the first one was awesome, but my second one was even better. I loved them so much. We really became as a family, and my students, so, right there, were an amazing part of the beginning of 6th. And then, of course, the second time that I won another leadership award. And this one was very big of a surprise. And it really solidified that you are great and that you may not be top always, but you have qualities that really make you shine. And all of us have that inside. And then last but not least, the big finale, which is 7. This is when I started crying. It's like, ooh. The thought of having to say goodbye to all these people really hurts. So I will be attending the University of Florida, which is something I worked for the past the past 2.5 years. It was really hard. 7th semester is like the best semester I've ever been part of. They really test you and they really throw you to the lions. And I couldn't really put into words how amazing it is. You're gonna reach a lot of imposter syndrome. Like, am I really gonna be able to do this in a couple months? Like literally in a month, in 50 days or something. We're going to the University of Florida. I'm terrified. I'm going to my first rotation. But the best part about 7 is that I get to do it with some of my best friends. And this is a time where I'm taking to really explore the island and enjoy my moments with these people. So lesson number 8 is enjoy these moments now because they don't last forever. I wish they lasted forever. I wish I could take them all in my pocket and be like, hey, we're here. Come on. And we could explore times together. So that was lesson number 8. And so I couldn't pick just 3 pictures. I put a lot more. So my class screen, my mother who came to placement, she was even more happier than I was. My subgroup that I got really blessed to have part, my classmates, some of my best friends. This island has given me the best friends that I could have ever hoped for, and I really hope that I stay with them forever. It was funny, I was creating a Facebook event for me to go back to America, a throw party in Miami, and all the suggested people I should invite are people that are here. And I was like, where are my friends from Miami? I need to get those. I got so overwhelmed I deleted the event. I was like, I don't want to invite these people. So my last thing is that Christian took this photo. I just need to say thank you to the school, to St. Kitts, to my friends, to everybody, professors, faculty and staff, everybody that helped me become who I am here, because if you look back 2.5 years ago, I'm not the same person. I think I've grown both professionally and personally, and I think it's been an amazing ride, and I'm really excited to see what's next, and I will miss everybody tremendously, and I'm very sad that this is my last Ross Talk ever, because this was the most amazing experience I ever had. And yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for coming, and I'm sorry I cried.